Jonathan, thanks so much for joining us. There is so much to talk about, but let's start with Iran. Why is it so crucial that Iran and Hezbollah do not establish a foothold on the Golan Heights near Israel's border? And how is the Assad regime in Syria helping them?
Let's zoom out a bit and think about what Iran is trying to achieve. They have spent billions of dollars over many years in trying to bridge one big challenge that they have. The big challenge is that Iran is over here and Israel is here, and they're trying to gap more than 600 miles of a distance. Now, they've got two ways in which they do that. One is by using proxy organizations like Hezbollah in Lebanon and Islamic Jihad in Gaza. And the other way is by forwarding military capabilities from Iran into Syria and then trying to attack Israel using either Syria as the launch pad or Lebanon as a launch pad. Now, I'm sure that you know and remember very well, but I don't know if everybody in the crowd remembers that Iran has already tried and attacked Israel 6 times in the last 2 years. All of those attacks came from Syria, which also means that the Assad regime is responsible for those attacks. All of those attacks were thwarted by the IDF. Fortunately, there were no casualties and no substantial damage. And as you also know, every time they attacked us, we made sure to retaliate in kind and make sure that they get the message that attacking Israel from Syria is an exercise in futility and that we won't allow the Iranians to establish themselves militarily in Syria and to open up a second front in the north against Israel. And it's absolutely important that the world and the free countries in the world understand that we won't tolerate an additional Iranian front against Israel. It's bad enough to have Hezbollah controlling Lebanon, using and abusing civilian facilities in Lebanon in order to attack Israel, and it won't be allowed to happen on the Syrian Golan Heights either. And I can assure you, and this has been said by our Prime Minister and by the Chief of the General Staff more than once, we will take whatever steps necessary to negate these threats against Israel, be it kinetic, non-kinetic, and everything else needed.
Jonathan, tell us why these precision-guided munitions, or PGMs, would be a potential game changer if Hezbollah got its hands on them. And tell us a bit more, if you can, about Hezbollah's overall capabilities.
So PGMs, or precision-guided munitions, are basically advanced rockets. What they mean is that if you have an old rocket, which you place in a location, you aim it, and then you fire it, you can't really control it in mid-air, and the chances of actually hitting your intended target are statistic. And in order to actually hit the target, you have to fire many rockets if you're a terrorist. The big difference with PGMs are that you can fire them and you steer them in flight, and they have a target area of about 150 feet. Now imagine a terrorist organization like Hezbollah having the ability to strike almost pinpoint accuracy any target in Israel. Imagine utilities, imagine ports, airports, imagine our symbols of state, and imagine the most sensitive areas in Israel, all within range and all within capacity of Hezbollah to attack. That is why we are so adamant about the fact that this is a strategic threat against Israel, and as General Kelman told us about before, it's something that we're operating day and night using our excellent intelligence and using our Air Force and other assets that we have at our disposal to negate and make sure that this will not actually turn into a threat that will menace Israeli civilians and endanger our economy and our most sensitive facilities.